Preparing to go live. We are going live. Good morning, everyone. As we double check to make sure that we are live over on YouTube. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your patience. In the space of Restream, in the space of we are live over on YouTube and probably everywhere else. We'll figure the life out on what this might look like on Restream. I can view my stream. Yes, we are actually live, Mina, and I can see us over on Restream, over on that screen. So
okay. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm waiting for it to go live on my channel too. But that's okay. Maybe,
it's there streaming, it's everywhere streaming. So hit refresh a million times.
okay, I'm hitting refresh a million times, which is, sometimes learning experiences are, yep, it's live. It is so live, and which is okay.
So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to actually hit record so we can have a backup later. Record to the cloud. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes,
Good
good
morning.
morning. And I'm so glad everybody shared or is here. And I was able to at least one person was like, okay, when are we going live? I said, we're starting soon. I'm loving the chat feature on YouTube.
Are you ready?
All things AI. Yes, I am. So ready.
Or really, ChatGPT, AI, and data. So I figured what I would do for everyone that is joining us, whether you're live, whether you're watching the replay, whether you are on our podcast, is Mina and I every Sunday. The goal is to go live on the Sunday morning show with the twins. And the focus right now is artificial intelligence. Why? Because we truly believe that you need to be investing in AI, that you should be logging in every single day. And you probably should join us over on TikTok, where our goal is to post something about artificial intelligence that we might have just recently learned or that we might be already doing. And one of those things is actually data. So let me talk to you about data. You know, as far back as I can remember, I am not the person that liked math, and it just wasn't easy for me, to the point where I remember, Mina, when I took the basic skills test, or I was studying to take the basic skills test. I actually was was trained or coached by my oldest son, Ryan. His brain just functioned with the data. He just got the math. And I would always wonder, how did you just get the answer? I didn't get it. So when it comes to math, even in high school, I geometry was actually easier for me. Algebra, not so much. I was the person that I didn't get it. It was hard to do, to the point now when I even teach in the real estate space. My goal is to bring it down to a level that's easy. And even at Aurora University, when I was in my master's degree program and I had to learn how to use IBM SPSS, the modeler, or just IBM SPSS, I took data to a whole new level. But now that we have AI or ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Copilot or Perplexity.ai,
Or
I have
cloud.
found that I can actually make AI easier for me. So we're gonna chat with you about artificial intelligence. Now, Mina, like,
So,
go for it.
and what? I know we talked a little bit about what it felt like in high school. I want to talk a little bit about, I remember in high school thinking, we had to do all these writing assignments, and it was always the summary or summarize the book, and I did not like it. I didn't like writing. I liked reading, but not the way that some people would think that I liked reading. But I felt like I was always missing something. Always like, why is it so easy for this person to just write it and it gets done? Like, I didn't know if I was missing some trainings or some information. And I wish I had something like ChatGPT to help organize me, even though there was this idea that you wrote it once, it needed to be perfect. You got all these red marks and then you were done and you moved on, which is probably a bad idea for most teachers. So it was like, what if I could have had someone that was always there to help me? What if, like, And I had teachers in after school, and I had support. I wasn't like I had was a bad student. Let's be clear. We did all right. Like, we graduated on time. Like, it was just, I felt like, what if I could have access like the kids that had personal tutors, or parents were able to pay for that, or knew to pay for that? And I could have that right in the palm of my hands, like, literally. And we also talked about my first year of high school. I had this guy, he was like 85, my teacher, he was 85 years old. He talked, that one teacher that talked to the board, never turned around. I failed algebra my first semester. I got good at math later, and I learned that math isn't easy for most people. It's more or less work. And it was like, okay, so what do I need to do? Like, I'm good at math now. It and even that basic skills test that you mentioned, it's the basic skills test for teachers. That was the easy part for me, for at least in Illinois. But most people don't. You feel like you're left behind. And I've tutored people on those tests, and they're like, I feel like I can't do it. They've said to me, I feel dumb. And I'm like, no. And recently I tutored somebody, and I mean this summer, on the basic skills test. And it was, I'm going to give you a personal tutor. I will tutor you this summer. And then I need you to use ChatGPT as well as a thought partner, and it will help you think differently. And it changed my man. Like, the things that you can do in ChatGPT is like, if I could have had that in the 1980s, yeah, I just the yeah.
So basically, what I heard was that ChatGPT is a place where we have the ability to have conversation around. I'm distracted by distraction because you like disappeared on me. Uh oh, I was like, what just happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, you
Okay,
actually
so
turned off your
real
camera.
life story. My dog found something to chew on, and it was driving me crazy. So there's the real life.
Oh,
With
so
with
next time I know, because I'm like, it says you're still here.
you.
So so back to what I was trying to think of when when it comes to artificial intelligence, and you said it's having you said kind of like this, like having a study partner or someone that could be your coach, that person that's sitting on your shoulder saying you can do this, because artificial intelligence is using all of this information online, and it can think faster than us, and it can actually, when it comes to data, make those calculations. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't know how to understand data or read data, but it can help you understand it and break it down to a level that is consumable.
Yep.
It could help
Yep.
you be a better content creator. It could help you be a
Mhm.
better educator. It could help you be a better realtor. It could help you be the person that can explain it to the consumer. If you're working with buyers, sellers, or investors, and it can do it in a way that makes it easier for just about anyone. Because I'm telling you, when I think about how when I use data, even back when I got licensed in 2001 in the real estate space, we had to learn how to create a market analysis. And I could create one, but then I had to learn how to make it consumable for the public. And that is the value of using tools like ChatGPT. So what I thought I would do is give you the example of how I use it today. And I'm going to actually share my screen, Mina. I
Okay.
logged into,
Oh,
so
you
I'm
have
actually
data.
logged into ChatGPT, and I'm also logged into, let's see, I want to see how this works because it's sharing. Oh, okay. I was having a moment. I thought I was sharing us. So this is data. And right now I have
You're
data
you're
from July.
you're a little
What,
scratchy. Just thought I might want to tell you that real fast before you keep going. Like,
what do you mean
the
scratchy?
mic, I'm mad at your mic. Sound like,
Okay, so I'll fix the mic. So you go and talk about
oh,
your
well,
example. I'll
okay.
stop sharing.
So I saw that report, and I was like, the local, I just want you to know that I'm going to share exactly what you're sharing. And I found it, and I'm downloading it. And I wasn't sure what you were going to do with it, but
You find it.
I can Google anything.
Well, I just want to know how it's public. That's what I want to know.
Well, but you notice that it's a different one.
Doesn't
I
matter.
just
I
I
want to
would
know how our data is public.
look,
I'm having a moment,
look,
but keep going.
I'll
Oh,
show you.
okay, they made it public because it's public on my Facebook. So go for it. Keep going.
No, it's public. And I wasn't sure where you were going with it, but I thought because when I said thought partner, I just want to go, I want to do this in the downloads. I see data. And if now, okay, let me take a moment. If I'm a teacher in high school, or I'm a principal, or I'm a district person, and I'm like, I want to know what's going on in my neighborhood, and I want to have an impact, and I want to understand what's happening with the whatever this is. I'm going to call it the whatever this is, because I kind of don't know what it is. But when you showed it, I was like, ooh, real life conversations with children and students in high school or college. So I thought, from my perspective, is I would go and grab this PDF and say, I am a high school math teacher and want to use this to talk to students. I am bringing a local real estate agent to also talk about going into the business. Tell me about this PDF and keep me part of the conversation. Wait a minute. Put it in a table and visual. Let's just see. Now, I know that's a lot for some people, but this is just what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking this way because, one, I can bring in real estate. I can talk to, people locally about it, but I want you to see the impact of what it just did. Like, it, as a teacher, I'm thinking, how profound is this? I can bring in a local agent to say, talk to my students about the real world, talk to them about this. And so
You
it
might
didn't
not
give,
want to bring a regular real estate agent in if they, I mean, let me say it differently. You might want to tell them what you're doing because they might not even know they have access to this because that
well, you
not
would,
everybody comes to class.
well, okay. Ooh, that's a whole, but the point is that the real estate, in my mind, agent, let's just say, gave the PDF and said, I'll come and talk to the students about it. I've been in the business for 25 years and whatever. Like, so it gave me this table and it explained it, like change in median sales price over time. Like, and assuming that students would have access to ChatGPT, this changes the game. This makes, like, how there's so many questions I could throw into this. But okay, you just said there are real estate agents that don't know about this. Let me just stop sharing because maybe you want to do something differently with it. If real estate agents don't know about this, what did I just do? No, okay, you just
So here, so is my mic better? I should start there.
yes, yes.
So here's what I'm there is a lot that we could unpack with this, but we'll come back and talk about why number one, you need a real estate agent, but number two, why a real estate agent needs to show up for class. I should have known that this was public because it's one of the local market updates. It's an integration that is available for every real estate agent, but it is also a part of our multiple listing service. So if it's public for me to share, our MLS is making it available. So for everyone, like an educator, a professor, a university, blah, blah, blah. Okay. When you shared that, I took it to a level of this would be great for even a university if they have a program like DePaul University has a program. Fresno has a program for people that want to get in the real estate space, but they may not ever get licensed. This is a great tool for anyone that wants to get it, they want to invest. Like to me, this was you did what you did for me as a real estate agent is number one, you showed me it was public, but number two, you took it to a different level where I'm just showing the basics for the average consumer. If I was working with a student that whether you could be in elementary school, middle school, or high school, you just pulled in how to use data at a in the real world.
Right.
I'm like, this to me was so I almost want you to go back and show people that prompt.
Okay, let's go back. So, first of all, let's break the prompt down. I
And
said
copy it and throw it in the chat for me so I can go
um
copy it.
uh where do you want it? On actual YouTube or in our chat?
I just want you to give it to me in our chat in Zoom. You can
Okay.
throw it on YouTube if you want, and people could grab it.
Okay. So if you just to unpack it a little bit, if you look at it, it says I gave it context, told it who I was, a teacher and a math teacher, high school teacher. And I told it what I wanted it to do. Like, I want you to use this to talk to students. Like, this is a student level for high school. Then I said, I gave it more context. I'm bringing in an agent. Now, I use the word real estate agent here because I'm still trying to understand, realtor and real estate. One is what?
Uh,
Trademark? I
well,
don't know. So I just said real
what it
estate.
is you are now a member of. You are held to a higher standard. So everybody's watching, going, your sister doesn't know that because I should have told you. But and if you are
Well,
a realtor member, you are held to the code of ethics. You are deemed to be someone that is always going to learn. You are deemed to be a professional because you don't have to be a member to be, you don't have to be a realtor to sell real estate, but anyone that is a realtor is held to a higher standard.
okay, so kind of like the National Educators Association, NEA. So when you are a member, you're held to the code of ethics. Got it. Um, so I don't want to presume that somebody is a realtor, but they all have a license as a real estate agent. One does not equal the other necessarily. So, okay. So I'm bringing a local real estate agent to also talk about going into the business. Like, maybe this is what they want to do when they leave high school, because you only need to be 18 to be an agent in the state of California. I don't know what it
And
is in your
Illinois.
state. And
And Illinois.
the reason I know that is because I was at a college fair and there were a lot of real estate agent or brokerages there along next to universities. And kids were like, I don't want to go to college, or I want to go to college and do that too. So this is a place that people could live. And then I said, tell me about this PDF and I should have said, keep me part of the conversation, put it in a table and a visual. And it says, so here's the table. So if I wanted to go and look back at that PDF, like it says July new listings for 2023, 24, I can see that there's a comparison, an increased change percent of 18.2%. We can talk about what that means on another day, but it is an increase. And then there's an increase in how many are under contract. I can see that. This is me trying to explain it as a non-agent. Closed sales. So you had 19 closed in July and 20, looks like all of them closed in this month,
So 2023, July 2023 compared to July
July
2024.
2024.
And there was an increase in the number of properties on the market.
Right. And then you can
Comparing
see
those months, just July.
just July. Yes, that's how I'm reading this. Like, so, and then I can see, this would be as a teacher, I'd be like, I would tell students, go to go to Google and everybody tell me what this means. Like, I would have them write it out and then I would have them share out. I would almost do that in most professional, like trainings or CTEs or whatever, continuing education. I don't know what it is. So CE.
Continuing ed,
Yeah,
CE.
CE. So and then it gives you the median sales price and the average sales price. So there is a difference. Median is not average. Median is the middle. Like, if you had 10 properties and you listed them in numeric order of how much they cost, median is literally the middle price. The average is you take all 10 of those properties, add the number, the amount it cost, like one was 400,000, one was 470,000. You add all that together and you divide by the total number of properties, 10, for example. And that is the average. There, you can see that there is a difference. So people tend to say median is average. I thought I would just give that quick lesson. And then it says the percent of original list price received. So it looks like, so that to me is the percent of original list price received. So most of the time, it looks like people are offering the original list price or higher. I may be saying that wrong.
You said it exactly right. So that means you can understand our data.
So, and then the average market time. So, first of all, if I can understand the data and agents can't, that's a conversation. Uh, but it is an area that I like to talk about data. And then average market time, like how many days was on the market. This is, to me, I would be all over this. Like
So
it's
what?
July.
So okay. Let's take a deep breath. So what does that mean to you as a home seller?
I'm selling my house now. That one, like or I'm going to, if, as if I was an agent, I'm sending out all those little postcards that you've told me about. And I'm going to walk the area because I listen to those videos too. And I'm going to say, did you know in July of 2024, the average house was only on the market 12 days. So if you wanted to sell your home today, you will get top dollar because the median sales price was this in my area. The average sales price was this. And if you sold the house today, you will probably get at least 100% of what you asked for or higher. Bam. Am I right?
Right. And what's cool about I'm actually retyping your prompt. Uh, is you first of all you're doing this for high school students or students. This could be for anyone. Second thing is you're able to explain it, and I can say I believe you're able to explain it because you look at data every day in your arena.
There
But I
is
also
that.
believe there's that. But it to me, I actually think it what ChatGPT did was it took the data to a level that I think anyone could understand. Because what I watched you do is you went back to percent of original list price received to thanks. You said it out loud, and you're like, this to me means that houses are basically selling for more or at what they're listed for. Then I went back and I'm retyping your chat because I need to download it later because it won't let me copy, cut, and paste. And as I realized you had a typo, but it didn't matter because ChatGPT understood it.
Yes.
So now that you've done this, I feel like keep scrolling because of course I can't see the entire screen.
Oh, and no, I'm saying hi to people in the chat on your channel and mine.
Okay, so and it shows you the visual change. So now if you were let's keep going. Let's keep talking to high school students. You could literally ask the question. So now that you understand this, you know, what would you how would you educate a high school student with
Well,
this?
I do want to say this. It says inventory of homes for sale. There's less inventory. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if I was a student talking to an agent and interpreting this, first of all, we're using real information about my community. That is huge right now because most people think of real world as I need to talk about Africa or New Zealand. No, real world is what you can access locally. So if students are talking about this and they can articulate this, two things at least are happening. You might have a possible person that would like to become an agent, and they're very knowledgeable because they're using this, and maybe they're going to college and they can get really good at it. And there's some other things too, but they also can educate a community really well. And they are your next buyer. And if for me, I didn't know I could buy a doggone house when I graduated college. You can say, guess what? If you do go to college and you become an agent, you're very knowledgeable. And when you graduate college, you better go buy that house. You might as well start saving up whatever money you have in college and put it away and go buy your house. Even if you don't live in the house, I guess, even if you want to buy it in Montana or wherever, go buy the house because I think I talked a little bit about this right here. Well, that there's the
Market
average time
time
it's
and
been on the
homes are
market.
selling faster.
And then if you don't have inventory, you need to go. You've been saying this since COVID, Carrie. Go find the inventory. There are people out there like me that did not know, and I kind of want to stop sharing for a moment, that did not know I could or should sell. Like I didn't need that big old house. and I was, and because I needed someone to help me, like, I don't know what to do in my house. It's so big, help me. I had someone kind of guide me through it. Like my agent was my counselor. So if you don't know how to tell, you might need to tell people you can do hard things. It might feel like a lot, but let me help you through the process if you really want to downsize or upsize or whatever we call it. I think that we're not thinking from that perspective, and it's just there were things that I just didn't know. So, did you want to try the prompt, or did you want me to read like a little bit of this?
Well, I wanted to, you don't even have to read that, but I didn't see image or graph plotting each year. I don't see it. Would you like me to create the visual? I feel like you should just say yes.
And we need to point out the prompt said, "Keep me part of the conversation." Yes, create a consumer friendly visual.
This is the part
I'm I,
that
I'm
is
I'm
amazing.
excited.
This
I'm
is the
very
amazing part of using artificial intelligence. If I was a real estate agent, an educator, a student, as a consumer, really what this tells me is real estate agents really need to understand this value, because if we can't explain it and the consumer can go and Google our data and they come here and they create this, you at least want to be as knowledgeable, if not more knowledgeable, on not just what the data says, but what the market says, or what happens with the economy in the cities we live in. If you're not doing this, this is why you're going to be replaced. This is why. Keep scrolling, because I don't. Is there, how much more did it give us? So we plotted out change in median sales price since 2008. Come on, now let's go with, let's see, ask it to create a graph showing market time. So now when you yeah.
So I'll just say I'll create a graph visual of market time. Consider other graphs visuals too. Let's see how much we can push ChatGPT. Here's the other thing is I am what you call a professional squirrel. And what that means is if I'm cleaning my house on a Sunday or whatever, I go to one room and I'm like, let me clean my bedroom. Oh, this cup next to my bed is needs to go in the kitchen. Oh, let me clean the kitchen now. Or so ChatGPT cuts out the squirrel, the distraction, and you see how much work we just did, and we've only been live for however amount of time, like less than 30 minutes. This is the part that it
I
showed.
need you to scroll, because I'm like, I can't scroll because it's your
Look what,
AI.
but wait, look at it. It gives you the average market time. Some of you who are like, yeah, but it said that in the graph. I mean, it said that in the table, the columns and the rows. The difference is a lot of us are visual people. We need to see that. We need to see this is okay. This is more profound in some postcard. Then it gives you other stuff.
Can you click on that little arrow in the top right hand corner by your name and see if you can share this with me by your name, by your photo? I mean, can you click and throw that in the chat, my chat? I mean, in Zoom. I just want to see if I can click it and do it, follow along.
Well, and
Can you throw it into the Zoom chat?
I did.
Oh, there it is. It just showed
And
up. All
then
right,
so
let's
which
see.
is interesting. So I could make this discoverable, by the way. Look,
I can see it says
I
unable to display the visualization. I wonder if it'll let me open it in my chat GPT. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Go look.
so I've made this discoverable. So it makes me wonder, like, and I don't, so I'm gonna put this, I put the
Throw it on
prompt.
YouTube. I'll throw it on my YouTube channel. You throw. As a matter of fact, I think I can just do it from Restream, wherever Restream is, where it is. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, chat. Let me go see who I'm going to put this on YouTube somewhere. I don't know which YouTube channel it is. Oh, mine.
But the
You
other
putting it
thing,
on yours?
I can, but look at this. I can make it bigger so you can kind of really get to see the graph. Um, for me, I'm looking at it these for me, if you look at the left side, this vertical y axis, I'm going to use a little bit of language here. It gives me the number of days here. If I was doing this, and I like it says 30 because typically the average amount of time in a month is 30 days. So this to me is a really good picture of it's less than half the month. So that is the conversation. If I was an agent, I would be like, your house is very likely to be on the market less than half the month. So the conversations with the person who signed the contract for you to be their agent is, are you ready to move out? Like it's going to be fast. So we got to do this. So this other things like that, which is great for you, but there's a lot of things you might want to talk about. And then notice that on the right side, it still gives you, like, you could look at this, you could screenshot this and talk to your client, like the sales prices, this is what's going on. There's so many things you could do with this. And it might feel like a lot, but that's why you are a part of Carrie's, classes and all the other things, the membership. So she can help you through that. But I'm sure this will be a full course.
I mean, you got me like I should just create a course on ChatGPT and data. Like you this I need to just sit down and literally create a whole course on this. You might have to create it with me.
Yeah. And I did stop sharing because I didn't know if you wanted to share or it just have this conversation, because I'm still personally, I'm still like, whoa, this happened. And
So
here's the other thing is that it said at the bottom, and I know may want to say something, but it says, let me know if you'd like me to create any of these others. Look, sales price comparison, percent
you
of
have it
list price.
created.
Yeah.
Go for it. Say yes,
Create
please.
number 1 first. Like, let's just tell it what we want. And that way it slows down for you. We said thought partner. To me, ChatGPT is a one-on-one thought partner. And it also can be a think tank. Why? Because it's pulling from everywhere. It's like, so you can have these, you can get caught in the rabbit hole and, and get stuck there. But what it's doing for me is letting me see, let's make it slightly bigger, like median and average sales prices. So we have the median here. So, and this is showing you that the key is 2023 and 2024. It's not that much higher, but I clearly can see it's higher. And so this right here is, I could minimize it. I could have minimized it here or here. And it tells you, let me know if you would like further customizations of additional visuals. View analysis. Like sometimes I just want to click. Let me tell you, this is how smart you are with ChatGPT. Like the stuff you don't know. This is the programming language that this did for you. Your mind should be just on overload, because we couldn't do this before. But we can now with ChatGPT. We're like brilliant people because ChatGPT lets us be super, super smart.
Okay, so I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna give you a challenge since you're in all my stuff. I want you to go back to Google.
Me?
Yep. I want you to go back to Google and I want you to put in Broadview, Illinois data. I don't know how you found it. Let's do the same Google search.
I gotta go find. Okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna grab this.
What made you put in MRED?
Because that's what it said on the top of the. Okay, so when I do any type of search, I try to get as specific as I can. And you showed a PDF, so I was like,
oh, got it. Okay. So really, it wasn't that easy. But let's just go now. I want you to do Broadview. And so you are the consumer. And this local market update, if you are a real estate agent watching and you are in Northern Illinois or you have access to MRED data, it didn't give you Broadview. I want you to go back because it's got to give you, yeah, there, that has to be, is that it? That says Chicago. I want you to type in Broadview, Illinois, because I know I can get it. Um, you did to get rid of Illinois, maybe.
Wait, hold up, hold up.
It's not going to give you. Is it going to give you the most recent?
I don't know. Let's ask ChatGPT.
What is the last time ChatGPT made an update? Okay, so you're not getting it. So go back to.
I'm gonna let it keep thinking.
Because if you got Niles, I want to know why it decided to give you that as opposed to when you were specific and asked for Broadview. But anyway,
But and the thing I can find it. It's just a matter of because it's giving me.
so what we know is you can find it. What we know is it gave you Lyle. I know how to
Well, you
do
know
it.
what? Let me do this. Let
I
me
got
change
it.
this PDF.
That's it.
There, found it. And so if let me at least say to people, how did I know to do that? I looked at this URL, the website address, and right in here it said Nile. So all I did was change it. That doesn't always work, but I thought I would at least show you that that's what happens. So I do have it now. So I don't know if you wanted me to do anything with it.
I do. Yeah, and now you are moving back to Broadview.
And I do want to say that I
What do
do
you
things that are I actually am training ChatGPT too at the same time. So I just told it to do something. Um, I showed it the URL. Not that anybody else needs to do that, but I didn't want to forget. That's why I'm saying it out loud. So now what would you like me to do?
So I want you to maybe you're moving back to Broadview or you want to, what would Broadview be a great market to have an Airbnb? Like you're moving back. What do you want to do in Broadview? You got the data.
I'm moving back to Broadview, Illinois, is what I said. And now let's go find that download. It says Broadview right here. And use the PDF from MRED. And I'm saying this. I want to point out that I don't have to do this, but I want to say to ChatGPT, use all the knowledge that you have above uh, and use Broadview data. But use Broadview data. Why am I saying this? Because I stayed in the same chat because ChatGPT has now made itself smarter because I was already talking about this conversation. So I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I'm staying in this chat. You can start a new chat, but I'm reminding ChatGPT that it already had this data because I don't want it to do what we will call hallucinate because it will go off on a tangent. When you had small children or you have that one family member that will all of a sudden interject, I'm good at that, and just start talking about random stuff. ChatGPT does that too. Like, we're like, what does it have to do with that?
You could just teach the whole class. I don't even have to cut you off. Like I could literally set you loose on real estate agents and not interject, and you could literally just do this.
So, okay, which is a great compliment. So look, I want you to see this. And then you said, I want to
Consider an
consider
Airbnb. I want to
buying for Airbnb. What was the next thing?
that's good. Let's go for it.
It needs to be a place that is close to activities,
public transportation,
public transportation, grocery,
etc. And
and
then you need to say,
all
is
the
this a
things.
right? But you also need to say, because you're using data, you need to now say, bring in other, you could say, bring in other data concepts, or you could say, tell me more about the community. And then say, based on this data and the location compared to downtown Chicago, would this be a great opportunity? Like, would this be a great spot? That's how I would think this.
So I'm also saying, keep me part of the conversation as a thought partner.
Is
Let's see.
this a great place to invest?
Okay, looking at the data from MRED, local market,
It might be a
updating
good investment.
Broadview, it
Yep, there it
says,
is.
here's what we have. And it gives you the sales trends. The new listings remain the same year over year, but closed sales dropped by 28.6%. So median sales prices dropped slightly down by 1.8%, while the average sales price fell by 4.7%. So as a buyer, I'm like, because this is interesting for me. Maybe not as a
But
seller.
that's okay. As a buyer, you want it to go down, but and as a buyer, market time, it's taking longer to sell. So that might mean you might have a little bit more leverage when you go to write your offer.
Right. And it even says market time, homes are taking longer to sell, with the average market time increasing by 56.5%. So now, there's some other things that it said here, because it's close to Chicago. You can get it close to public transportation. For me, I'm like, ooh, Taste of Chicago. I know it takes how long to get on the L, things like that. So, but then it's like, how do you feel about looking for properties that need a little cosmetic updating, but are well located for amenities? They might have better pricing potential with rising demand for Airbnb. Don't tell Mark about that. So wait a minute. I feel like that's a good question, but that's not. I want to see visuals. Show me a table and visuals. Let's start in this direction first. I do like what you gave me. Hold that last question for later. I'm training it to, I'm kind of being nice to it, because I saw a TikTok that was like, be nice to ChatGPT.
Right. It
Because
might
you could,
once it comes alive, it might come
I'm
after you.
like, that it was like coming after her. She was like, you've been nice to me as ChatGPT. Come with us. I'm like, okay. Anyway, that's random, but that's a TikTok. If you want to know, let Carrie know, because she can send it to you. So here it is. Show me some tables. It's thinking, it's processing. It
Ooh.
gave me more, y'all. It got smarter. Let's take a moment, process this. Let's open this. Let's see how big it is. It didn't put this in with a dollar sign, but
Okay.
that, I could probably make it fix it, just so you know. But if you are an agent and you're like, I cannot keep looking at the numbers, whenever you look at a table, pause and find someone to talk to you about it. It could be ChatGPT. Talk to me about this table. I don't understand. I would also have, you can have a group of other agents or somebody to just chat with you about it, because I see new listings are the same. I see under contract, one is, it's down one. Closed sales are down two. I see median prices are down by 5,000, because I can see that. And it gives me these are percents. So, you may not know that. Like, it's plus or minus. Yeah, I see average sale price. It's lower. So I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued as a buyer. Percent of original list price. Like, but you're still getting the original list. It's still, you're getting over 100%. So, okay, for the seller. Average market time. Look, these are I'm have questions like, is that the number of days? I'm going to go with it probably is. Inventory of home sales. So there's less, and if you're an agent, there's less, so you have some movement potential and sending out a postcard. So I'm going to
But so
minimize.
there's less inventory. So I want everybody to see what I see. There's less inventory. The number of closed homes compared to last year, July, is down. Median sales price is down, average sales price is down. And then, but the percent of what homes are selling for is up, and market time is up. It doesn't mean that if I'm selling my house, I won't sell it for top dollar. It might mean that you're sitting a little bit longer. As a buyer, it might say, should I start watching to see what happens in Broadview? Should I be a little bit patient? That's what this, and there's a lot that you could unpack with this, because inventory is still low. Doesn't mean you shouldn't buy the Airbnb. It just means that you still might be buying that Airbnb at top dollar.
Yeah. And
But you,
what I was going to do is just, I am very curious about those visuals, but this is a conversation that I think sometimes we look at data. Now I'm going to come from a different perspective. We look at data and go, never mind, I can't, because data is just facts. It's telling you what you need to do to pivot. It's telling you, I may not be able to get people to necessarily do one thing, but I could possibly have a different conversation. Because people who live in an area, and I'm going to give you from an educator perspective, as a leadership perspective from a district office. If people aren't moving out of the community and they're older, it changes what's happening with schools. Less children are going to those schools. And if the schools aren't, if there are less children and you don't leave, now, and this may be a conversation where you have to get really creative because you have to tell everybody the same thing. Let me do this. If you have a lot of families that don't have children anymore, they've lived there since the late 1900s or mid for that matter. They fully paid off their house. They're never moving, but they could, and they could have something that allows them to not have to cut their grass. You're opening up a community that can have other people move in that are younger and have children. For me, perspective, I want kids to go to school, because if we don't do that, schools close. And the prices of those houses will drop drastically. And we are seeing that around the country. So
what you just told me is you just gave me a talking point for my live presentation next Friday, because I am talking about housing and seniors. So what I heard is we need, I'm going to say it to you like just someone that's not a real estate agent. What I heard you say is we need seniors to sell their houses, but we also need housing for seniors in the community they love and want to stay in. So they might need somewhere where they can downsize, because the unintended consequence is there isn't a home for someone that has kids because they're not moving. And the other layer to that is people aren't moving because maybe their home is paid off and there's no affordable option.
That's the key. Affordable options. Say that again.
Well, it is, again, let's see if I can restate this, because I'm going to need to pull this from the AI later. Number one, what I heard you say was when seniors don't move out, and we're not getting families with kids moving into the house that they could live in because it has space. We could be causing the unintended consequence of a school district or a school having to close because they don't have kids that can go to those schools. The other thing we need to do is we need to allow for new housing opportunities in these same communities, because the seniors, the baby boomers, the silent generation might just want to stay there. So maybe we have the assisted living, maybe we have adult living, maybe we have condos or HOAs where these seniors don't have to pay to cut the grass. I mean, they pay to cut the grass, but they don't have to take care of it on their own. And they get to live almost in place, but not outside of the community, and move somewhere else where they can find the affordability. And then the other one is affordability. And the other unintended consequence is Now, when the senior does go to sell, the housing prices are going to be much higher because we don't have a lot of inventory in a lot of our communities, which now makes it harder for that new buyer to come in. So this is where maybe we need grant programs, maybe we need new loan opportunities or mortgage opportunities for someone to actually buy in the communities they really want to be in, because there are awesome schools. I could probably go on and on.
Well, I will say one other thing, and you may have said it in all of that, and I'm so glad it's being recorded. If I would even argue that the housing prices will drop drastically because school's closing. Like, I don't want to move to a place that I don't have access to a school if I have young children. And if that closes, then grocery stores close. We have food deserts. So you are living in a place that you love, and people are like, I don't want to move there. My kids can't go to school, and it's happening. It's happening. So they're going to be on the market longer. And then because they're on the market longer, even if you're the only one, you have to give me a reason why I want to move to a community. And if the schools aren't there, there's no reason, because public education is a way for parents to have access to going to work. Public education gives students a place to go during the day. Public education, my cat decided to join me. Public education also gives a community stability, and it creates a community where other parents can connect with other parents. If you don't have a reason to connect with other parents and you're a senior and people are moving out, you have lost your group, your tribe.
And with that being said,
Mhm.
we want to thank all of you for joining us today. We might have to come back next weekend and come back to the conversation around data, and maybe it is around housing, maybe it is around the unintended consequences of what's happening in our communities, but then we could leverage ChatGPT to broaden the scope of the conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
we need to
think we
go
might
find
need
the
to come
census,
this one.
the census data, the housing data, and school data. Like we could have 3 different data sets: housing data, census, and education.
Yes. I'm writing it down, and education. So
So for those of you that have joined us live, we don't see any questions, but we want you to continue showing up and inviting people to see us on Sunday mornings. We think we have figured out Restream and Zoom, so we should be able to get here between 8:30 and 8:45 a.m. Central Eastern Time, 9:30 and 9:45, and then California time.
yeah, just a little bit earlier. But so what?
Right. So
Get up,
I
get
am
dressed,
Carrie
and get
Little.
going.
Say that again.
I said, get up and get dressed.
Right. Just get up, or you don't have to be here. And then maybe we need to figure out how to invite some other people in that also are AI. I don't even know if I want to call anybody an AI expert yet, but maybe an AI strategist, maybe someone that is making themselves the expert.
Or
I am
just an enthusiast, right? Just an
right.
enthusiast.
Someone that just likes the conversation around AI, ChatGPT, and maybe data.
Yeah.
I am Carrie Little, the designated managing broker of Caremark Realty Group in Illinois and Florida. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join me over on TikTok and on Instagram. And if you are interested, you can also check out the podcast and smartgirlmedia.com.
And I am Dr. Mina Blasey, and I am everywhere, Mina J. Blasey, except for YouTube, MJ Blasey. So